Hello and welcome to PA Academy. So in this video, we are going to be covering direction and bearing. And some of the things we are going to be looking at is under direction is how to, in a cardinal point, when you have a cardinal point like this, how do you read direction or pronounce direction? And then in bearing, how do you look for angle or measure angles when you are dealing with bearing? Also in this video, we are going to be looking at how to solve questions under bearing. You know, the formulas that you are going to use. I'm going to be giving you the formulas that you can use to solve just any question under bearing. If not all, it will solve just any question under bearing. So we are going to be looking at a lot of examples, like 6 different examples under bearing, and then at the end of this video I'm very sure you'll be able to answer any question you come across under bearing. So if you are new to this channel or you are here to subscribe to PA Academy, click on the subscribe button so that you don't miss all these videos, because the videos are going to be in parts, so that you don't miss any of these videos. So to start with, you are going to be looking at direction. So what I have on the board that looks like a plus is that's what we call the 4 cardinal points. So this represents the north, this represents the east, this represents the south, and represent the west. So let's call this point 0. So if you have something like this, we are looking at direction. If you have something like this, and let's say we have an angle, this is east, E. Now this S represents south, this E represents east, and the W represents west, and the N represents north. So if you have something like this, and let's say if you have an angle at this point, so let's take that, let's assume this angle is is angle 45 degree. This is 45 degree. Now how do we pronounce this angle when we are dealing with direction? So for this particular angle, the angle is 45 degree, we are going to, this is how it is being pronounced. So let me do that here. So we are going to say that the direction, so let's call this point A, let's call this line A. So the direction of A from O is equals to, now this is where where I want you to pay attention, is equals to north 45 degrees east. North 45, look at it, the angle is coming like this, north, when you are dealing with direction. So north, then the angle east, so north 45 degree east, north 45 degrees. So that is how you pronounce or you deduce, you represent the angle north 45 degree east. So let's look at another one. So if you have one here, let's draw it like this, and then if the angle here is, let's take the angle here to be 60 degrees. So now for you to call this, so we'll have it as the direction, let's call this one B. The direction of B from O is equals to south 60 degrees east. South, this 60 degrees east. Now let me explain something from these two things, from these two angles that we just looked at. Now if this place is 60, now we cannot, if you say east, and if this place is 60, that means this place is also 30 degrees. So you cannot say east 30 degrees south, is wrong. When you are dealing with direction, it is very wrong. So you always start from either the north or the south, whichever one is whichever one is that is closer to it, or whichever. Now let me also add this, we call this one the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is third, and this is fourth quadrant. That's just addition, by the way. So since we know that this place is 60, the right way to pronounce it is what? South 60 degree east. Not, because if this place is 60, that means this place is 30. North east 30 degrees south, it is very wrong. Same applies to this first quadrant also. You cannot say east 45 degree north. No, when you are either starting with the north or starting with the south. So let's look at another angle. So if we have here to be 70 degrees, so for that one we are going to, that means the direction, this is C, the direction of C from O is equals to south 70 degrees west. South 70 degrees west. So just deal with, if it is within here, it is south, whatever the angle west. If it is here, it will be south, whatever the angle is coming from the south, then east. So if it is, the angle is here, it will be north, then the angle coming from this way like this. Look at, if you look at the, follow the direction, look at it. Then for this, you also have this. Then for the 70, so south 70 degrees west. So let's look at the fourth one. So let's just give another random angle. So if here we have it to be 30, if this place is 30, then that means this place is also what? Is also 60. So for us to call this angle here, so either if this place is 30, for us to call this angle, we are going to call it in this direction. And calling it in this direction will be, so, okay, let me just write it on it. So that means it will be north 60 degree west. No, 60 degree west. So you can, if you look at all these four angles, let me also write this one. This one is north 45 degrees east, and this is south 60 degrees east, and this is south 70 degrees west. So that is how to give angles, or to pronounce, or to note down angles when you are dealing with direction. So you are either starting with the south or the north, depending on the quadrant. So if it is on the second and third quadrant, then it will be south, whatever the angle is coming from the south, or either like this or like this, depending on if it's on this quadrant, then the angle, and west. If it is this quadrant, then it will be south, then the angle it makes coming from the south, then east. Unlike like this one, south 60 degrees east. So same thing applies to the north. Then for the north, it will be, if it's on the first quadrant, it will be north, then the angle coming from the north pole, then the angle, then north, the angle, then east, like this one, north 45 degree east. Then for the fourth quadrant, it will be north, the angle coming from the north like this, then west. So that's north 60 degrees west. So that is it for bearing. And the next one you are going to be looking at, I mean for direction rather. So the next one you are going to be looking at is that of bearing. So for bearing, say the bearing to a point is an angle in a clockwise direction from the north pole. What is this saying? So if in a question, or maybe you have been told that, okay, let me first draw the cardinal point. That if you are given a question that, okay, maybe something is moving on a bearing of whatever angle, so that's what we want to look at. Note that when you are dealing with bearing, this is 90, this part is 90, if this is another 90, this is another 90, and this is another 90. So the total angle here is 90 degrees, but if you are looking at this half of it is 180. So if you are looking at it from here to this point, so that will be 180 plus 90, they will be 270 degrees, and then the total is 360. So for example, now if you are saying that, okay, the bearing of so is at a bearing of 110 degrees, let's look for the bearing of, let's say 110 degree, and we want to put it down in the diagram of bearing of 110 degree. The first thing you are going to do is you draw your four cardinal points. this is the north, this is the south, this is the west, and this is the east. So for bearing now, he said that what the bearing of a point is an angle in a clockwise direction from the north pole. So that means you always start was from this north pole, and you clockwise. When they say clockwise, that means like this clockwise. Just look at the direction of your clock; it moves in a clockwise direction. So for 110 degree, for example, if you are look for 110 degree, a bearing of 110 degree, we know that from here to here, this first quadrant is 90. So then what is left is for us to look for another 20 degrees to make it 110. So our 20 degrees should be somewhere around this. So with that means this is 110 degrees. So once a bearing of 110 degrees, this is how it will look like for bearing. So let's look at another bearing. What if it is so let me clean this. So what if it is a bearing of 250 degrees? So for the bearing of 250 degrees, we know that we are going to always start from the north. So don't forget, that's one important thing about bearing. And this is the east. You're always starting from the north in a clockwise direction. So from here to here is 90. From here to here is 180. Now from here to this point is 270. So that means that is more than what we are asked to look for. So that means it's not up to this part. So what you are going to do is that since from here to here is 180. So what's the remaining angle for us to get to 250? From 180 to 250. So that means we need another 70 degrees. So that means out of this 90 degrees that is here, we are going to look for what? Add another 70 degrees for us to arrive at 250. So let's just take for example that from this is it, that this part that this particular part is 70 degrees. For just example. So if we've agreed that this is 70 degrees, so that means from here to here is the what? 250 degrees. That's the bearing of 250 degrees. So just understand this when we start doing examples where you'll be asked that okay, something moves at a bearing of 180 degrees, of 250 degrees, 110 degrees, 200 degrees. So this is what it means. Just pick it. So just first of all draw your cardinal points. Start from the north pole and then start to pick the angle. From here to here is 90. So if the bearing is not up to 90, then maybe if it is 70, you know that okay, this is it. Then if it is more than 90, and let's say it is 110, like when we looked earlier, you know that okay, 110, this is 90, you need 20 more. So you take this is your 20, then this is the bearing. I hope that is clear. So that is it on bearing. So another thing I want to also talk about in this part of this video is some of the formulas that you can use to solve just almost every question, almost any question that deals with that you're going to come across in bearing. Because in the next part of this video, we are going to start looking at examples. We are going to be looking at different examples of different questions that you can come across when you are dealing with bearing. So there are two main formulas that you need to understand when you are dealing with bearing in order to solve questions on bearing. Now the first one is the sine rule. We call it the sine rule. And then the formula is given as A over sine A is equals to B over sine B is equals to C over sine C. It's also the same thing if you write it the other way. It's also the same thing as sine A over A is equals to sine B over B is equals to over B is equals to sine C over C. We are still saying, either way, it is still the same thing. So that's the first formula that you use to solve question under bearing. And what this means is that you pick them in two. That means you can have it as A over sine A is equals to B over sine B. That's the first one. You can have it as A over sine A is equals to C over sine C. And then the third way you can have it is B over sine B is equals to C over sine C. So in explaining this further, what it means is that if after drawing your bearing that based on the question, it always form a triangle. So just give your triangle. This is angle A, B, and C. This represents an angle. That means this angle here. This angle here is angle A. This angle here is angle C. Now, the line opposite the angle is with the small c. That means the distance from here to here is represented with C. If this is angle A, that means the line opposite it, that means from point B to point C, represents A. The distance from here to here is A. And then from B, the line opposite it, opposite this angle B, is what we represent with small b. So that is the application of this formula. So for example now, if you want to apply, for you to apply this, the first one, so probably that means you have your A, you have your B, you have an angle, and you are looking for another angle. Let's just say if you have 3 out of these and you are looking for the fourth one, so you'll be able to apply any of this formula that you think is okay for you. So that is the first one. That's the sine rule. Once we start solving examples, I believe you will understand it properly. So the next one, let's look at the second one, which is the cosine rule. So the second one is, we call it cosine rule. And there are 3 of them. We have a square is equals to b square plus c square minus 2bc cos A. The second one is b square is equals to a square plus c square minus 2ac cos B. And then the third one is c square is equals to b square plus a square. Anyone can come first. You can have a square first, you can have b square first, then minus 2ab cos c. So these are the three formulas under the cosine rule, and the application is very simple. Is also very simple. So maybe after drawing your question, the bearing, and then you form a triangle. Let's give it A, B, and C. Then this is B, this is A, which I've explained earlier, and this is C. So the angle opposite is the one that is represented with small letter. So maybe the question can ask, let's pick the first one. For example now, maybe after you draw your drawing based on the question on bearing, and you are looking for the value of A. And in the question that you are being given, this angle is being given. This angle that is opposite A is being given. And then this is given, this is given. So you know B is given, C is given. Then you can easily use this formula to get A. Maybe you are looking for the length of line BC, which is A. And you know the angle opposite it, and you are given 2 other sides. So you can easily apply this formula to get it. So you can also even use it also to get the angle. So you get the angle. Let's say you are given this also, and then you are looking for this angle. You can also use this formula where you now make cos A the subject of the formula. All these are some of the things you are going to be looking at some example that will touch all these things in the course of this video. So with that is it on the part 1 of this video. The video looks long than it's supposed to, but don't worry, just an introduction. And in the next part, when we start solving example, you are going to I assure you that you're going to understand it properly. I have like 6 examples that I'm going to be covering in this series. So that's it for this video. If you have any question, just leave them in the comment section. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you watch the subsequent parts of this video. That will give you more understanding on all these things that we have looked at: the cosine rule, the sine rule, how to apply it, and when to apply it, which one do you to apply, things like that. Those are some of the things we are going to be looking at in the next part of this video. So till then, see you in the part 2. Bye for now.